It's Friday. Hope you're going to have an absolutely amazing weekend. Welcome to SMT Viewers Comments. Let's get right to it.
Time consumes us all, even the Axe Effects and Quad Cortex. They're going to make an amp the size of our thumb that you can plug into anything one day.
Well there, Mr. Goat Surgeon, I think you've got a fantastic point. You know, I remember being in college back in the day, late 80s, early 90s, and my professor talking about one day we'll be able to shoot on a camera and pull a disc out and just put it right into a computer and work off that. And we're like, whoa. I mean, like, this is back in the day when we were, using 2/3 inch tape and then Super 8 or High 8 tape and that kind of stuff. Now, in that time, we've gone from discs to SD cards and, just recording right onto, can I get a shot of this here? Yeah. Here's a little hard drive I'm recording this show onto right now. And then I'm just going to plug that right into my computer. So the fact you're saying that we're going to have a guitar amp that'll plug into anything and be about the size of your thumb, I have no doubt that is going to happen one day. Yeah, these guys aren't going to be around forever. I mean, like, obviously, it'll be like old tech from the 30s. I mean, like, there'll still be people who collect that stuff and still enjoy it and still have a nostalgia factor about it, like classic cars, that kind of thing. There'll still be that market. But is it going to be needed? Absolutely not. The technology will move forward. So I would say you hit that one directly on the head. It's very exciting to see where the tech's going to go in the next 20 years because the amp sim technology in terms of sound has really matured, and it's only going to get interesting from this point forward, I think.
Hey Glenn, I was wondering if you could help with this. I'm in a band working towards our first album, and our guitarists and bassists have both decided it would be great to save around 500 pounds, if that, by recording and mixing everything ourselves. I can't seem to get through them that it'll all sound like ass compared to a proper studio album. Any ideas if I can make them see the light?
Well, that's one of the great things about metal is there's definitely a do-it-yourself spirit of doing things. I mean, like, are you expecting to get the next Black Album out of it for 500 pounds? If so, your expectations might be a little bit overblown. But I know you can get some pretty damn good results using Easy Mix, and that's not a paid-for opinion by TuneTrack. I've never actually done anything with TuneTrack. I'm just saying, Easy Mix can get you some pretty good results if that's all you're willing to do. You're going to wind up sounding like everybody else, but it will get you there for a very minimal price. Now, if you want to do something a little more complex, if you want to get away from the prefab metal, as I've been calling it as of late, that's going to take a bit more skill, and that's like learning an instrument, and it does take years to develop. So there is that. So, I mean, like, you can go with what's on rails and sound exactly like everybody else, or you can strike out on your own path. Just be prepared to spend a whole lot more time and a whole lot more money, because this shit gets confusing pretty quick.
What frequencies make a tone bad? I'm using amp sims, but I'm never happy with the tone. Yes, I use quality IRs. What the fuck am I doing wrong?
While talking metal, let's talk about metal guitar tone. I'm really glad you asked that question. I mean, like, when I was starting out too, I'm like, why don't these tones sound right? Turns out I had a broken SM57 that I didn't know. But, it still took a very long time to get the guitar sounds I always dreamed of. Fortunately, we now have things to help us get along the way a lot more quickly. Now, I talked to the guys over at Pro Mix Academy, and they decided to do a flash sale just based on this question to help you get the tones you want to get. I'd say get Scott Elliott's Guitar Tone Mastery course. It is the most comprehensive lesson on working with amp sims that I have ever come across.
So I got a completely free chain. By the way, this is recorded on a $200 7-string Ibanez. It's the cheapest 7-string Ibanez makes.
Scott's an awesome dude, and he's so meticulous as he takes you through his whole process of figuring out what IR to use with what amp sim, how to dial in your amp sim, and get the tones you've been dreaming about. And we're gonna have it on sale for $69.69 for the next 72 hours. And all you gotta do is use the discount code METAL42069. Once again, it's going for $69.69, and the code is METAL42069. Follow the links in the description below. It is the absolute best course you are going to find about dialing in amp sims and getting the kind of guitar tone you really want.
Hey Glenn, I was just wondering, what do you think about the Black Album? I know the mix is great and the songs are good, but do you think it was Metallica selling out? I don't know, I'm just curious on what you have to say on the subject.
I know a lot of guys back in the day might have thought Metallica was selling out a little bit. I mean, like, Here's the thing, though. They had done 4 records that were all variations on a theme up until that point. You know, they had Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. And they all kind of went in one direction. And they said, look, we've taken this as far as we can go. We need to try something new. And that's what they did. They got radio friendly and had huge hits and won Grammys and made all kinds of money and became these megastars. And you know what? Good for them. I mean, like, there's definitely a thing in the metal community where people shit on other people for being successful. That happens a lot. That happens in punk rock as well. But in metal, it seems like, hey, you know, if you're not allowed to be successful, you're only allowed to go so far. And if you make it past this certain threshold that we've set for you, then you're a fucking sellout and fuck you, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Personally, I liked the Black Album. I thought the songs were great. And that's really what the most important thing is. It was the album after it that was terrible. And it's been pretty hit or miss ever since, unfortunately.
Apparently being broke as fuck and living in a trailer is an aesthetic that the metal community is very fond of. I've never seen such a community where being successful and having money is looked at as a bad thing. I'd rather be a corporate shill than have metal integrity. I can't pay my fucking rent with metal integrity.
Hey everybody, that's Eric T. He's very active in the SCMG Discord. Awesome dude. And he did have a hell of an entry in the Oldies but Baddies competition. But Eric, I think you've got a great point. I don't know what the fuck happened, man. I mean, like, back in the 80s, the whole idea was become a rock star, get rich, you know, get the girls, get the money, get the nice house and the nice car. Now that's all, you know, taboo? What the fuck? Bring back the fucking rock stars. Bring back the fun. Finn McGinty said it on Punk Rock MBA there a few weeks back. Rock lost the plot because it takes itself too seriously, and it's not fucking fun anymore. No wonder why kids aren't fucking getting into it like they used to. Bring back the fun when it comes to making records. Stop taking yourself so fucking seriously!
People want to know what the best gear is, not how you dragged a discontinued pedal out of the trash and spent 7 minutes ragging on it. What's your point?
Well, Michael, my point was to find out who the whiny suckhole's in, and guess what? That is you, pal! Anyway, if you didn't like that video, you're really gonna hate when I review this thing. This is the Zoom 505 plastic fantastic effects unit from the 90s. Why do we review stuff like this? Because it's fun, you fucking idiot! I review great stuff all the time. Oh, 2 revs and a fucking Soldano and a Synergy down there. I've got great gear all over the place. Hell, I don't know if we can see this. This video is coming. I don't know if this video is out by now, but you can see a fucking new heart key rig down there. If that video hasn't been out, it'll be out really soon. That is a super killer piece of gear. I review awesome gear all the time. Nobody reviews the shitty stuff anymore. I don't know why. I review awesome stuff on YouTube all the time. I review high-end studio gear all the time. A lot of people review the high-end stuff. Not very many people review the old pieces of shit that a lot of us had to make do with in our youth. And you know what? Those videos are an awful lot of fun, especially when I can introduce an old piece of shit to a brand new forging hammer from Alex Steele. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it!
Alright, Spectre Sound Studios band question for you. I've had troubles with my current state of the singer, the workload, the egos, you know, the normal band stuff. But this probably takes the cake. The singer and drummer had a previous band before they formed ours, and most of our songs are from that project. I got a bunch of texts from that previous band's bass player who kept asking me about, you guessed it, politics. After politely asking him to stop asking me as I didn't want to answer, I politely said fuck off and deleted his number. I also blocked him off my Instagram, but he has since tried to follow me again. What should I do? I don't want a jealous band member of an old project acting aggressive and possibly attempting to break us up.
That's a tough one, dude. People are assholes. You know, you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it one way or another. Now, the best advice I can give you is just do not engage him in any way. If you've blocked him off your Instagram, any of your socials and whatnot, that's great. Don't accept a friend request, because when you don't accept them, they get ignored and they go down the list. And try and block him every single way you can. You know, block his number from getting texts, any of that shit, and don't discuss him with your new band members on your new project. It's not fucking worth the grief. This is the thing, the guy's probably just trying to stir shit up, and he's probably getting some personal satisfaction knowing he's starting to get under your skin. So fucking ignore it, man! Seriously, just don't let him know that he's fucking bothering you, because eventually he's gonna go get bored and go play video games and not practice his bass and leave you the fuck alone.
Hi Glenn, having spent the majority of quarantine diving into audio production, I finally finished mixing my first album. Following the advice of the internet, I sent a demo to a few different mastering engineers for comparison and have not heard much more than overcompression and excessive limiting. Against the advice of the internet, I spent some of my time mastering my own version. When played back as to my blind test for friends with trusted ears, my master was chosen more than a few times. So I guess what I need is some validation to know that I'm not a complete fool for putting out a self-mastered project, especially considering that all this would be paid out of my own pocket. Cheers and fuck you from Florida, eh?
Hey Shane, here's the bottom line. If you like the results you're getting with your own master, then do that! There's absolutely no rule that says you have to have your stuff mastered by another person. I know every mastering engineer watching this show is probably saying, "What are you saying, you asshole? That's my gig!" Yeah, it is their gig. But I mean, like, honestly, I think I used to read Recording Magazine, EQ, all those, and I read a lot of stuff about mastering, and then I finally read somebody honest about mastering. They interviewed a bunch of mastering engineers, and this was like 2000, 2001, something like that, and one guy's like, well, you know, the mastering guys used to be the guy who turns it up, and now you can just do that yourself. So keep that in mind. Myself, I do top-down mastering, and if I don't have a lesson out on it yet, I'm going to be doing it very soon. I master all my own shit. I've mastered my own shit for years. I mean, I got inspired by Andy Sneap, who masters his own shit too. Now, I'm not saying a good mastering engineer isn't fucking worth it, because it can be, depending on what you're going for and if they can respect your vision. I mean, like, if you're mastering for -12 LUFS, make sure you say this. Don't blast the fucking shit out of it. That kind of stuff, because that's what a mastering engineer will do. Well, you know, oh, well, it's got to compete. Compete with what? Compete with the crap that's already out there? Why do I want to sound like more crap? I want to sound different. But a couple mastering engineers I can recommend would be Phil Demetrio over at Lacquer Channel in Toronto. That's where Rush mastered 2112. U2 did the Joshua Tree. There are a whole lot of amazing records got mastered there. And if you're in LA, I'd say talk to my friend Mauer Applebaum, who I got to work with on a couple of different things. He's got a good set of ears, and he understands microdynamics and that kind of thing, and he might be able to do something for you and your budget. It's definitely worth having a conversation with Mauer. Anyway, if you're looking for somebody who's very metal-oriented and really gets the whole thing about dynamics, he's really on the fucking ball.
What's your opinion on people that say, why use a 10-string when you could just play bass?
I think those people should shut the fuck up, to be honest with you. You want to play an instrument with 10 strings? Have at it, man. Fucking right. If that makes you happy, go for it. If you can make some awesome music with it, even fucking better. Fuck the haters.
Hi Glenn, I know this video has literally nothing to do with religion, but I had an idea recently. How about metalheads protest church services like how they protest metal shows and the NAMM show? Give those self-righteous assholes a taste of their own medicine.
The thing is, though, religion's a protected thing, so I don't know if you go protest a religion, if you would get yourself arrested or not. I'm not sure about the legalese about that. It's probably legal, falling under free speech, but then again, when it comes to religion, people tend to throw all the rules out the fucking window. Oh no, religion, we gotta treat it special, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, I used to be Presbyterian when I was a teenager, and then when I got a little bit older and learned how to think for myself, I learned that that church was responsible for an awful lot of evil in Canada, especially when it came to how they treated the native children of this country. And if I could have my way, I'd love to see the Presbyterian Church run out of business and sent back to Scotland and just expelled from the country, because I think that's what they deserve, considering just the atrocities that they've pulled over the years. But protesting religion in general, I don't know if it would really do any good. I mean, like, ultimately, the reason they're protesting is because they crave attention, and you're probably going to give them exactly what they want. In my opinion, the best way to deal with religion is to ignore it.
Can I put your sample pack in my drum machine and make techno?
Dude, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. That's the whole point of a license, is to give you creative license and make whatever music you want to. I've got no fucking say in that. If that's going to make you happy, if that's going to give you joy, fucking go for it, man.
I used to listen to Glenn back in high school. Now I'm in a band and in the process of recording an EP, and everything he has said has rang true. I even changed my bass strings.
Hey, Tyler, thanks for writing in, man. So great to hear from you. Glad you're finding some of my videos useful. That's fucking great. I always love hearing from that. It's like, I get that a lot. Hey, you know, these were really helpful. I'm like, good. That makes all the effort worth it. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not making any of this shit up. These are all real stories based on my experience working in the studio with musicians who don't come in prepared. It's gonna fucking happen. All I'm trying to do is help you guys save money by getting shit done and fucking around an awful lot less.
Glenn! Speaking of Cat 5 connectivity, would that be Cranborn stuff? I was just looking at it the other day and noticed that it is a feature between all their stuff. I remember an old video about some of your favorite gear using that, and it made me smile.
The Cranborn stuff. Yeah, I've got the Cranborn rack back here. It is fucking amazing. That's the 500 ADAT thing. It's 500 series with ADAT audio, analog to digital converters on it. It's one of my absolute favorite pieces of gear. I use it all the time. It is just simply awesome. You're talking about their cast system. It's a little bit different. They've got their own way of doing audio over Cat 5, and I think it's like 2 mic cables and 2 headphones, that sort of thing. But the other ones, like the ones from Ward Beck, are basically 4 mic cables over Cat 5. I don't know if I've got that video out yet or not. I'm messing with a Lyx, Lyx. I found on Amazon. I'm messing with one of their units, and I've got a mismatched wire somewhere that I'm gonna have to track down. Somebody fucked up at the factory and got the polarity wrong on one of the cables, and now I've got to look at, like, I don't know, 12 different joints to figure out where they flipped the wire. So that's not going to be fun. Hoping Thomann starts shipping to North America again real soon, because I want to check out some of their offerings for Cat 5 audio, because it looks extremely promising. Anyway, more on that to be seen in the very near future.
Glad, don't ever change. You pretty much nail it right on the head every time. Yelling at stupid people is priceless fun. How many idiots does it take to screw in a light bulb? All of them, and they still get it wrong.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks so much for writing in. That's absolutely fantastic. Yes, it never gets old yelling at the dumb people. That's for sure. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Once again, if you want to improve your guitar tone, grab a copy of Scott Elliott's Guitar Tone Mastery over at Pro Mix Academy. We've got it going for a super special Spectre sound price of $69.69. Use the code METAL42069 and you can get that discount, because it's normally like $150. Best damn course you're ever going to get on dialing in amp sims and getting awesome tone. It is absolutely fucking stellar. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, give it a like, give it a share, do the YouTube hokey pokey, and help out the show. And once again, leave a comment, because I want to hear from you. And until next time, get out there and make some amazing metal, you magnificent motherfuckers.